Good day, folks. Today on the bench we're going to tie up Brent shrimp. This is a very effective fly, and shrimp are available all year in lakes. It's a pattern that you must have in your fly arsenal. Go over the materials we're going to need to tie this fly. This one here, I've incorporated a little orange glass bead in there to represent the pregnant shrimp, which is one of the key in on those pregnant females. They're a little more richer in nutrition for them, I guess, and we're told they like to select those. But anyway, we're going to start here with a size 14 curved nymph hook, and I've put a little small glass bead on there. It's an orange. That really shows up nice in the water. For the tailing material, I'm going to use just some of this soft hackle at the back of a kind of the back off of one of these cheaper saddles, and that makes nice soft tailing material. And for the body, basically use some soft scud, shrimp soft scud dubbing. This is a smoky olive, this is light olive. You're going to want to try to match the colors in the lakes you're fishing, so get some samples of these shrimp that you're fishing in these lakes on the weeds and so forth. Make a little effort to find out what color they are, because it's critical. What I've done here is I've blended my own just to match some of the waters I'm in, and I've taken actually the light olive and a little of that smoky olive just to give a little more dull appearance, to soften it up a little bit. And then I wanted a little spikier dubbing than the soft scud that comes out of the bag. And so what I've done is added some squirrel, and this is dyed yellow, but I've used the guard hairs off the squirrel here, and I chopped that up, throw that in my coffee bean blender, and with that other soft scud, and it just gives a little more buggy nature to it. So I think it was worth doing. We're going to use some scud back. It's an 8/1/8 olive for the back. I'm going to use some extra small wire, silver wire. You can use probably any color on there. You go over top to create your ribbing. And what else do we need? We need thread, and that's going to be an 8/0 olive thread. So let's get started here. We'll just start behind the bead. I'm going to come in around the bend, and we're going to get ready to get some of our tailing material here. It's just webby, a little bit of webby hackle on the back, and tie it fairly short. Lay that on there, and we're going to tie it so it kind of comes off the bottom a little bit, come around the bend. I like a bit of a curve to it, and then we'll trim them butts off a little bit. Get some of this extra small wire. We'll trap that in here at the back. Remember to tie your materials on in reverse order at the back, because you're going to be coming over top of that later with the wire. Then I'm going to get my scud back material. It's a nice stretchy kind of a latex material, I guess it is, and works very well. And get that all tied down. And I do not weight this fly. I don't put any beads on it. I don't put any lead on it. I like it nice and as light as I can, because these shrimp are in the weed beds, and I want to be able to get my intermediate line, or sometimes even a floating line in there, hang it in the weeds, so I don't want it too heavy. Okay, so we're just going to dub her body, and I'm going to put it on pretty thick. I don't care if it's chunky or whatever, I just want to get the shank full. I want a lot of dubbing in here so I can pick it out. We can actually put a little more at the back, right there. Now, and when I'm just going to hold my bead back, and then go across the top of the bead there like so, and then I can just finish dubbing the front. Okay, I'm going to give it several turns up there, a little half hitch, just so it's not going anywhere. And this, I find, is a really good time to brush it out. this is the easiest time before you put the shell back on. Get them legs down, you can really go to work on it, and you get way more material out that way. We're going to cover some of that when we get the wire over. You're going to see it's going to take care of some of that extra. And now I'm going to come over the top, my shell back. I'm not pulling on it too hard, I'm just basically getting enough pressure there to get it over the top. And take a few turns. For segmentation as wire, I'm going to give about 3 behind the bead, and I'm going to give it a couple 3 by head of the bead, and then we'll tie that off. We're going to just pull the materials back now, and then we're going to wrap over materials a little bit, get them out of the way, and then put on whip finish. Put on a little dab of cement there when you're done. I always cement my flies too, give them a little more durability. And then we'll just trim off the excess there. You'll see we got, all we have to do now is just kind of tidy that up. We got lots of fibers coming off the bottom. Then I'll just come in just above my hook, and I cut it a little bit of an angle there, just to kind of, that bit of an angle, just so your scissors don't touch the hook shank. And look at that, that's a nice little bead on top there. That's quite an attractor. I've got that squirrel hair. It just gives a little more buggy nature to that fly. And I'll tell you, these shrimp patterns, don't overlook them. I mean, there is a staple food item in every lake. A lot of times these fish will be tight in the weeds. You won't get them out very easy at all. If you have very pronounced weed beds, what I've done is it's taken this and hung it under an indicator, maybe 2-3 feet alongside, and I'll cast as close as I can get to the weed beds if they're very pronounced weed beds. And if they're weed beds got lots of room to get through, take an intermediate line, just hand twist that through there, and sometimes maybe a 4-inch pull. These trout in these shrimp infested lakes are hard to catch, so you're going to have to use a shrimp pattern. This little glass bead will put an edge on there for you. It'll help you a little bit, and those fish just go around like Pac-Man, and they can feed on them. They forage so easily on them shrimp. And don't overlook this pattern or the fishing shrimp. You're going to be rewarded with some very healthy trout. So have a nice day, and see you in the water.
To watch all our latest Sport Fishing on the Fly episodes and to order Sport Fishing on the Fly merchandise, head to www.sfotf.ca. And if you would like to book an adventure like this one shown, head to ontheflyadventures.ca and book yourself the trip of a lifetime.